evening, ladies and gentlemen, and after a wild all-star race for $165 and the man that has dominated the season so far, Braxton DeWeese picking up the win, we now move into wine country in California. It is the next stop of the SNB Cup Series presented by Appalachian Hauler Hunters. It is 4 races left to go, 3 races to the playoffs after tonight. And we are getting ready to turn left and rights and chicanes and, well, actually check that. No chicanes. We're on the old Sonoma Raceway, formerly known as Infineon Raceway, and we are glad that you're ready for it. It is the excitement of the SNB Cup Series on LSRTV. Good evening. I am Wesley Outland. Joined alongside is Samuel Dyer. Samuel, I don't know if you've realized lately, but especially on Monday night, I butchered you several times calling Greg Rent Samuel Dyer. I've been working with you too much, my friend.
Oh, I mean, it's one of those things. Well, Greg and I always switch in and out of wherever we need to be placed, and so it happens. I mean, Wesley, when you're working with a bunch of people, it's bound to happen when you're working with a lot. But here tonight, like you said, left, right here at Sonoma, 12 corners at no chicane, making this course now only 2 miles in length, 12 corners that they need to be worried about all race long. This is probably going to be the toughest race of the season for a lot of these drivers. Elevation change, and also a car that has not a lot of downforce, which means a lot of slipping and sliding, and you got to be careful of getting back on the throttle because these drivers, they had practice yesterday. There was a lot of struggle even during practice this evening. I'm not sure how many drivers we're going to be seeing having a perfect race of staying on course. There are a few drivers that have been getting my eye up on, as Caleb Smith, probably the odds-on favorite just based off of speed, winning the practice race yesterday, being the fastest during practice yesterday, and being the fastest during practice here during this session. At 12, outside of the top 12 in points, if he gets a win here today, he could be finding himself into the playoffs.
And there was a buzz on social media about just that driver that you were talking about, the number 12 of Caleb Smith. And could tonight be the night that he is able to join the likes of these others that have won on the season this year, that include Braxton DeWeese, who won Daytona, Kansas, Michigan, Richmond, Chicagoland. Oh, and by the way, the all-star race at Nashville last Wednesday night. Ross Tatum, winner at Bristol and Atlanta. Thomas Fisher, who, by the way, a road course ringer, most recent road course winner at Road America. Could he punch his ticket and get a second win on the season? And, of course, Jacob Grant, who won a couple of weeks ago at Indy as well. Caleb Smith, right now, he is currently in the top 10. He is in the playoffs, but obviously, Samuel Dyer, a win puts him in to not worrying about going into the playoffs by points, but with a virtue of a win, he goes into the postseason to join the other 4 drivers.
Yeah, and for Caleb, this is massive. He's one of those drivers currently 10th in points. I do want to say sorry for that mistake call, as Caleb's one of those drivers that has been trying to stay consistent, but with the amount of races that are left, if you have a real slump in these last couple of races before the playoffs, you can find yourself points-wise being knocked out. That's why tonight is so important for the 12. Make sure he gets the win, gets locked in. But there's also a lot of hungry drivers outside of the top 12 that are looking primed and ready to try to point their way in, like an Evan Coleman, Tom Bourne, Brockton Packard, and also Keenan Massey. Those 4 drivers outside of the top 12, and the driver they're trying to push out, it's got to be Kevin Martin, only a 3-point advantage over that of Robbie Helms. It's getting close and heavy on who's going to get that 12th position in the playoffs.
So, by the way, in the production truck, I didn't want to make him think I left him out. It's always Hems. Hems is in the house. That is Charles. No, I didn't forget about you. I didn't forget about you. I had a very stressful business phone call right before we came on the air, like 20 seconds before going live, and I just was not thinking there in my right frame of mind. At least I didn't call you Greg Rent, Samuel. So, yes. Anyhow, we are ready to go, and we got Charles Sweet in the production chair. And Charles is here. And let's take a look real quickly at the race on Texas 411. And Yeah, exactly. At least I didn't call you Greg Ritt, Samuel Dyer. Exactly. 30-minute practice session, 2-lap qualifying. We are road course racing tonight, which will include a 108 miles, 52-lap race. And again, that information presented by RaceOnTexas.com. If you're in the Arkansas area, get a part of the track pass. Part of your money monthly goes towards helping out your favorite track in the Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas area. Sawblade.com weather conditions, and taking a look at the weather. Sunny, 78 degrees, track temp at 103. That is going to be treacherous on tires for this evening's virtual race. It's just dropped to 110 now, just dropped 7 degrees. Wow.
Yeah, it was scorching hot during practice. It was around 110 here for qualifying. It dropped down to 103 and actually just went down another degree. So for the drivers that are waiting to go out, they're setting themselves up for a much cooler track than the drivers that immediately went out on track for themselves. But for some of those drivers that we're watching out for that have not put a time down just yet, Braxton DeWeese, that 8 machine, I mean, Wesley, he has been just tearing up this season. It just seems like a race comes up and he's always a favorite to watch out for.
Yes, for sure. Definitely. Qualifying is about to conclude here for these drivers. We're going to find out who will be at the top of the board in their qualifying run. We looked at the point standing so far. We mentioned those drivers that are currently Braxton DeWeese, the points leader, Ross Tatum second, Thomas Fisher, Jacob Grant. Those are your winners of the season. Matt Dyer, your brother, is fifth. If there's anybody that's coming close to going in by points in these next 4 races before the postseason, it is Matt Dyer, 73 back to the behind to the leader, 73 to the good of everybody else in the playoffs spot, if you will, of 12. Joshua Altus is there currently. Logan Brakey is 7th in the points, followed by Rob Sherwood. Eric Stamp, Caleb Smith, we talked about him earlier, fast in practice. In the mock race yesterday, he won it. Christian Gardner, and how about Kevin Martin, also one of those drivers that, you know, would not think that he would be in that top 12 Dirty Dozen spot, but honestly, he's in a very comfortable position, and he's had really good races, and those consistent finishes, Samuel, have helped be able to get to where he is now in the top 12.
Yeah, both that of Christian Gardner and Kevin Martin of that AAH Motorsports team. Both teammates been working really well with one another, and we saw them trying different strategies during that of the All-Star race last week. Interested to see if they're going to try to switch things up here tonight. Road course racing, the drivers have 4 sets of tires. One they start out with, 3 in pit road once we go green. And that is going to be giving these drivers some options on how to attack this course. Maybe make an extra stop or think about trying to save fuel and stretch it as far as you can. As tonight's going to be one of those races where strategy could be winning you this race if one of our top competitors slips up in any way.
So the stage is set. The field will grid when we return. Coverage of the SNB Cup Series from Sonoma in a moment on LSRTV, your home for sim racing.
Look at that. Look how wide that deer is. Oh my God. Oh my God. He's down. He's down. Hold him up first, huh? Hold him up. Son, what do you think about that? After me.
Wheel to wheel, battle for the race lead. New race lead down the back stretch. Here comes Jamie Frederick.
Every customer, every single time, needs to get our very best. From moment one, my goal managing a team here in the dealership is to make sure that that customer's experience is the very best that they've ever had. We expect and demand total transparency. There should never be a time in that transaction where the customer is wondering or not quite sure of what they're buying or what they're paying or those sorts of things. And having that transparency and doing things the right way is super important.
Welcome back to coverage of the SNB Cup Series. We are at Sonoma, wine country, in the hills and the beautiful plains of California. Sonoma, California, just 2,042 miles for me from North Carolina. Samuel, you said it's 30 miles from you.
Yeah, it's like 30 to 35 miles away. It's like a 30-minute, 45-minute drive. Matters on traffic. But this course, it's always a blast to drive by. You go down that of Highway 37, get to see the drag strip and the drivers driving up the hill through that of turn 2 and 3. It is a blast to see this course in real life, and I'm excited to see how these drivers are going to be attacking it here tonight, as it looks like they're gridding up, Wesley.
They are gridding. And we are ready to give you the Team 126 Racing starting lineup coming up here at Sonoma. On the pole, Caleb Smith. Could tonight be the night for the CEM Motorsports driver? He's on the front row. On the pole, quick qualifier to the outside, Jacob Grant. Winner at Indianapolis in car 52. Front row. Row 2, Ross Tatum. Boy, oh boy. Does he want some redemption on the field after what happened to him in an all-star race takeaway in the third turn last week at Nashville? He's third. Tyler Stooksbury in the 19 machine breaks up the second row. Row 3, Thomas Fisher, the Road America Road Course winner. Keep an eye on that 92 car to the outside. Andrew Cootie in the number 48, the Ally Financial Entry Chevrolet. Row number 4, Rob Sherwood of the 29. We had him in the booth last week. Fun times to the outside of him. Keenan Massey in the number 4 on row 4. Top 10, Braxton Deweese, the all-time SNB Cup Series points leader. He won last week in the All-Star race, the number 1 seed. And Brockton Packard to his outside of the 24, your top 10 here at Sonoma.
Row number 6, we're going to be finding that of Tom Bourne and Matt Dyer, as both of them, really not a lot of practice for Tom, and for Matt, this is not the racing package that he loves. That of Altus. Dropping back to row number 9, that's when we find Christian Gardner, and also a debut driver, where we're going to be seeing Jonathan Woods out there. We'll see if the 10's got the speed, and then we drop back to the next row. That's when we're going to be finding that of Zach Peterman, and also that of Eric Stamp. Our last row of this evening is going to be Robbie Helms, and that is Spencer Beck. 30 seconds left in qualifying, so not a lot of practice for the 20 machine, but he's hoping to have a good day here today.
There you go. 108 miles. This will be 52 laps around the Sonoma Raceway. Caleb Smith and Grant on the front, bring them down to that final corner, that final horseshoe turn, if you will, and ready to come to a start. Just after this race, a wild card, if you will, from the All-Star race to a road course event. They'll work their way off of that final turn to the flag stand underway here at Sonoma, and uphill they go to turn 1 in the mountains.
Coming up to turn number 2, this is probably one of the most dangerous spots when they're so close to one another. Expect drivers to overcorrect and also just not get on the binders as well, but
your way. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a virtual race. We're watching Caleb Smith now on the jump, because where there's Brockton Packard, Braxton Deweese right there, Sherwin in that mix, one another. They work their way into that tight corner there off that carousel. On the turn, back up this straightaway. Definitely got to play your cards right. Remember, there's a competition caution, I believe, at lap 15. Samuel, so this race breaking down into 2 stages, competition caution on lap 15, and from there on, let's pretty much set ourselves up, probably no caution flags for this race.
Yeah, that is what we were expecting, is no caution flags. But as we were watching up front, the great battling that was going on, Christian Gardner, Josh Altus, contact between those drivers coming through turns 3B. So a lot of contact, heavy braking zone as drivers getting aggressive, 3 wide as Grant gets out of shape.
Wow. Watch them as they work their way down that straightaway into the corner. course, we're on the old Sonoma track, which honestly, Samuel, this will make the race go by quicker. It will.
Yeah, it shortens the track by about a couple of corners, about a half a mile also. So helping these drivers not have to worry about the carousel, which is one of the more tricky aspects when you are in this high horsepower, low downforce Cup car that these drivers are running here tonight, meaning that you've got to have a lot of throttle control, ease into the brakes, ease out of the brakes, and also ease into the throttle. Don't want to be just jamming and going as fast as possible onto the throttle coming out of these corners, or you're going to be finding yourself looping around.
Working now the completion of lap number 2, coming up on lap 3. There's Thomas Fisher, there's Andrew Cootie right there, the 92, the 48. And all the while, Caleb Smith has pulled away, but the leader just hit a cone, and he knocked the cone into the entrance of the pit lane.
Yeah, just trying to find some little moments of finding that extra speed. Caleb Smith, how to find some speed for himself, the CEM Sports driver, trying to get a win for himself here this evening. He's been so fast, just adapting to this car ever since the drivers got the setup for this car earlier this week. And right now, the next driver we'll watch out for, it's got to be Thomas Fisher. But with how quick Caleb Smith was in those first 2 laps, got to be concerned of the tire wear that the 12 has put on his car.
And for one whole lap, we're on the gyro cam with the leader of Caleb Smith for CEM Motorsports. A lap around the S's, around those sharp turns. The S's again working their way around here. There you see where the chicane used to be, and then or where the chicane is today, they don't have it now. There's that sharp turn at speed where you work your way. Final work around the horseshoe of the racetrack, if you will. And they come up to speed, back to the start-finish line. And what do you think of that? A lap on board with a gyro cam of Caleb Smith, who leads now with 3 of 52, now on lap 4 at Sonoma.
Yeah, Caleb got himself out to almost a 2.5 lead. Thomas Fisher gaining on him, but this is the battling back around 15th place, where you've got that of Eric Stamp, Kevin Martin, and also Zach Peterson, who's having to figure out a deal with that of the new debut Jonathan Woods and also Tyler Stooksbury, that are back in 17th and 18th position.
Ooh, Butterfinger, man. Nobody better lay a finger on my Butterfinger. Remember Bart Simpson, eat my shorts, man? Butterfinger?
Yeah.
You remember Butterfinger, Samuel? Remember Heathcliff? Remember Garfield?
I love Butterfingers. Garfield eating that lasagna. Gotta love it.
See, he gets it. My mom don't get it. I don't understand.
You just gotta throw some. I know Garfield had like a current video, like movie that came out like 15 years ago, but that was around the time I was growing up. So give me a shot. Here's the battle for the lead. It's Caleb Smith, Thomas Fisher. They are right next to one another, as it looks like the 7 Christian Gardner had to take a tow after an incident for the 7.
There was a movie that was recently made with Garfield. You're right.
I know there were 2. I think there might have been 3 movies for that. As Thomas Fisher, he has figured out the race pace for the 92. Caleb Smith, this has been kind of one of the Achilles heels for the 12, is he's quick. He shows a lot of quick qualifying pace, but when it comes to race pace, pacing yourself so you've got the speed throughout a whole stint, this is where the struggle comes for the 12, as you're seeing the 92 just hounding, knocking on the door, and trying to force Caleb Smith to make the mistake.
Caleb Smith, the no slip there. Jacob Grant was ready to capitalize, but just cannot seem to get in that corner yet. Another lap on the board. Caleb Smith leads.
Oh, here comes
for the
Fisher.
lead. Here comes now Thomas Fisher. And Fisher looking to take the lead away. I think he got it done there. 4 car, Tyler Stooksbury behind him. All those cars nestled in that line as we work down lap number 6 of 52 SNB Cup Series. Next round, 3 to the playoffs after tonight in Sonoma. Samuel Dyer, Wesley Outland, Charles Wooten in the production chair. LSRTV coverage of iRacing on this Wednesday night, July 21st, which is now officially the first month completed of summer 2021. Battle on the road course. Back into the corner, Samuel.
Yeah, this is going to be the battle that's going on for 14th position. Tom Bourne, who is battling for 8th spot, overshot his corner in 3A. A little transition that they have to worry about, but going through turn 11, it looks like Stooksbury out of control, and Martin trying to make a pass on that of Peterson, and we're just seeing little pockets of battles going on throughout the whole entire track, as well as the battle for the lead. It's Thomas Fisher right back on the bumper of the 12.
All right. So that's the way it stands right now as we watch those drivers and look at Thomas Fisher. And we talked about this, Samuel. He won at Road America. This is another road course.
Caleb Smith wants to prove, hey, I can win at a road course. I'm going to prove it here tonight.
Certainly can. Watching Fisher. This is from the back of the rear of the leader's car for CEM Motorsports and Caleb Smith. Up the hill, down the hill, through the S's of the first part of the track. Now through the second part. And oh, Fisher got fishtailed there for a little bit. And he lost a little ground on Smith, but then he'll reel him back in like bait on a hook.
Yeah, it's going to be coming out of the corners, going into the S's here out of turn number 7, setting up through this corner. This is where we're going to be seeing that of Thomas Fisher try to get right on the back bumper. And the goal is, after coming down the hill through the S's, is when you come down to turn 8, where we see a lot of these poster boards on the right side. Going through turn 9 currently, the 92 head of steam. This is where we've seen him try to gain some time, where a mistake from the 12. It's going to be the setup here, Wesley. Can the 92 get under the 12 and secure this pass?
Watching him. Here he comes, Fisher, through the horseshoe off that last turn. There's sideways. And Smith, preferred line inside, driver left. He will clear by Fisher, give him back to the lead. Up the hill they go again on lap number 9.
It's just every single time. Turn 11 is just one of the hardest corners right now for Fisher. He gets the advantage on the entry. It's the center off where the 92 has been making these mistakes. But he's been doing a great job in the last half of this course to get right on the back bumper and challenge Caleb Smith to try to use more wear and tear. But the battling that we're seeing from these top two, got to be concerned for that of Andrew Cootie, also Ross Tatum. They're only 3 seconds back, but one slip up could make you lose about 4 positions.
Working their way back across start finish. Here we go again. Another lap on the board. And look at this awesome performance we are seeing with the driver, Caleb Smith, Thomas Fisher, right now. Here goes another nice battle. Oh, DeWeese and Packard. Cootie in that battle as well. This is going on, I believe, inside the... Whoa, we got a spinner. That's Zachary Peterson going around the 96 car. No caution, though.
Back into the tire barriers. And he's stuck in the spot where it goes downhill and there's just not enough grip in the slicks to really back out of the corner. And he finally slowed down enough, wasn't wheel spinning, and finally Zach Peterson gets fired up and moving, but already has lost so much time to our leaders. Got to hope that he doesn't go a lap down. Driver that just went a lap down, that's going to be Robbie Helms, who just went into pit road for the 18, as we're still seeing a lot of great, really, opportunities and battles going on throughout this whole entire course, as we're seeing the battle for 12th and now moving up for that of the battle for 8th place, where we find Braxton DeWeese, Packard. DeWeese finally making the pass over the 24, but Eric Stamp now hounding at that of the 24, Packard's back bumper.
Certainly is. We watch them again working their way back around the racetrack, and back up the corner. 5 laps away, by the way, to the mandatory caution on lap 15. We at least do know tonight, Samuel, what lap it was going to be that the caution would be thrown. No surprises.
Yeah, no surprises at all. Actually, I'm re-looking at it. I believe lap 15 is when we see the pit road close, and then it's going to be for lap 16 when that comp caution comes out. So the drivers are going to have a lap. If they are far enough ahead, think about pitting and trying to get that track position over some of those other drivers.
There is Brockton Packard, Shadow Racing entry number 24. That battle with Luis and Cootie finally subsided. 4 laps now to the not the halfway break, but to the competition caution. As currently we are road course racing around Sonoma. Braxton DeWeese. Samuel, we had to get off the air quickly last week, but what's your take of the shenanigans we saw between Tatum and DeWeese last Wednesday night? Matter of fact, you kind of did give your displeasure of it.
Well, the displeasure was not for the All-Star Race move. It was for other comments that were made. But for the All-Star Race move of Braxton DeWeese absolutely just shoving Ross Tatum out of the way, hey, that's All-Star Racing. I think every single driver that night had stated at some point that week, if I've got a shot to win that All-Star Race, I'm going to get the guy out of the way and make sure I can make the pass. Battle for the lead, possibly. Once again, turn 11. Thomas Fisher makes the move on the entry of turn 11 and then makes the mistake out for the 92. But for last week, I think it was fair game. I think for Braxton DeWeese, he was set up to win that race. Everyone knew if you were in second place going into turn 2 or turn 1 or 3, you were going to absolutely slam the leader out of the way for that $165. And it was Braxton DeWeese that got it done last week.
What a show it was. This just in. Panda Express at Charles' house. Let's raid the LSRTV production truck and I will catch a first-class flight to the Lone Star State.
Wesley, I heard that you love lasagna, and that was on the menu for you tonight.
No, hell no. Okay, lasagna was on the menu Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, not tonight. Okay, not tonight. I have actually took the liberty of door dashing myself, and Panda Express for Charles, damn you, and McDonald's for me. We had to get a quick dinner tonight, so it's Mickey D's. Have you had your break today? By the way, DoorDash, we're coming after you because it would be perfect. iRacing, you're sitting down, you're like a Garfield playing on your simulator. What better sponsor than DoorDash to bring your food in the broad booth and for the drivers, right?
Oh, especially with us on Mondays and Wednesdays, we need that DoorDash, especially with in between, as Zach Peterson off course once again. The 96 just needing this comp caution to come out as soon as possible. Luckily, these drivers do have a fast repair, which that is what Peterson's going to use once that comp caution comes out. But
that's right.
He has to just limp around, hope that he doesn't lose too much ground, and hope that he's also the only car one lap down. Spencer Best is currently the last car on the lead lap in. He's in turn number 11 currently, while our leaders are just coming down turn 7 into the S's.
Working their way into the S's off the corner. This is a couple of more laps before that competition caution.
Now these drivers are going to have 3 sets of tires to work with, and the drivers gave us kind of a rough idea of what the fuel window is going to look like, around 20 to 22 laps. So the comp caution, we're not expecting these drivers to make any type of green flag pit stops. If they made a pit stop, it was unscheduled. So currently for that of Caleb Smith, Thomas Fisher, they can race as hard as they want, but Ross Tatum, right when pit road is going to close next lap, he will come into pit road, going with a strategy call here, get service done, so he has the track position once that caution comes out.
That's right. Competition caution has not officially out yet, and there you see Ross Tatum come into the pit lane. I would say the pits would close this lap, am I right?
Yeah,
so he's okay.
At the conclusion of this lap, our leaders, once they come across the line, pit road will be closed. And with Ross Tatum coming in, also Eric Stamp, and also both those drivers going to be taking service
sound
done.
like a good idea for dinner. Ole!
Get yourself a chalupa.
Yeah.
Maybe a crunch wrap.
Is it? I'm not gonna repeat what Hims just said, people. I just can't.
If you know what happens after you eat Taco Bell, then you know what Charles said.
Paco. Come here, Paco. Is Paco the name of Charles' toilet? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Last corner.
Ooh.
Fisher all the better. Smith to the line. Here they come. Lap 15. We will see a competition caution.
Next
After lap 15. This is the last lap, and now the pits are officially closed.
It's closed, and no other driver should be coming into pit road. The field is now stuck in the hands of just waiting till the end of this thing. For Eric Stamp, who made that pit stop, he will stay on the lead lap, which this is great for Zach Peterson, who is going to be aiming to get that lucky dog spot up front. For Thomas Fisher, he might not be, he's struggling to make the pass on Caleb Smith currently, but pit road under this comp caution could be a chance for the 92 to make the pass. Pit road, always a place to see if someone can gain some time as they're coming down the hill.
You're not gonna believe this. There was a little spider crawling on my microphone windscreen.
Oh, that is terrifying.
You can't make this stuff up, I swear.
Here comes Thomas Fisher. He's on the inside. He's going to be pressuring. Contact made as they're coming to the comp caution.
Look at Fisher. Look at Smith. Give it to Smith as the yellow flag will come out. Yes. Wow. That got heated there for a minute. And there's the caution.
Well, if anything, I think we got our little preview of what we might see at the end if Caleb Smith and Thomas Fisher are that close coming to the checkered flag.
Oh. All right. That's fair.
Just a little bit of a door bang.
A little contact, just a little bit of a nudge there. No, seriously, a little small spider was crawling on my windscreen and scared me. I literally about talked and put my mouth on it. I freaked out.
Oh, man.
You cannot make this stuff up, people, I promise you. I did not get bit. Caleb Smith, by the way, at the end of 15 laps is leading. Picking him up and putting him down here at Sonoma. We got pit stops coming up. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have them for you, and I'm going to run for my life on LSRTV. Tear down this cobweb behind me.
Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, right? Our Ram trucks, truck of the year, amazing trucks. We have fun Jeeps, and then the exciting Dodge and Chrysler products. Lots of performance there, lots of excitement there. They've done a great job in really creating a full scope product line that could suit everybody's needs. Whether it's a family vehicle or a fun vehicle or a utility type vehicle or a big truck, we've got it all for our customers.
Everybody knows everybody. Well, they sure as hell know me. And that my dog.
Look at that.
Look how wide that deer is.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God. He's down. He's down.
Hold him up first, huh? You hold him up. Son, what do you think about that? Gentlemen, give me some kick, buddy. Excited?
After me.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man does what? Oh, welcome back. SNB Cup Series tonight from Sonoma. And here comes Pit Stops. Samuel. They're in for service. And if you're wondering why I said Spider-Man, there's a reason before the break.
Yeah, our top 5 all coming in together. The rest of the field, they've been running themselves around this course trying to catch up. So if we're going to be seeing any types of changes, these drivers have to make sure they came in smooth, clean. Thomas Fisher hoping to get out before that of Caleb Smith, not able to. And Grant, I think he might have gotten 3rd, but no, it looks like Cootie beating out 52 as Rob Sherwood stays out.
Rob Sherwood did not hit, is what we're being told. My. Have the mighty have fallen. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen because I'm wondering, Samuel, did Rob Sherwood make a mistake and not pit? That's what I'm thinking. What do you think? What are you thinking?
I think he might have passed pit lane, and then the leaders were the ones that then came in behind him. So he actually never had the ability to come into pit road, but...
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I took a sip of cherry Coca-Cola and it came back up. I don't know what to say.
I was just you know, sometimes it's so difficult to work with you guys.
It's not my fault. I cannot help that spiders are attacking my windscreen on my mic, and I cannot help that. Okay,
I'm just gonna say it has been a weird day.
I did say
just for you,
me, people. Please excuse me, okay?
Wesley, it just has been an overall weird day for you.
It's been a great day. Hey, by the way, it's been a great day. BJ Tendrick was on finish line talking about his big win. He's going to be in action tonight for the trucks at Nashville. And Fox Sports Radio got plugs for LSRTV tonight for iRacing. How about that? This morning on finish line. And we're going to be on MAV TV, I guess.
No.
We're going to try to. We're going to try to get it on MAV TV. Yes. I mean, they put other stuff on MAV TV. I mean, they put that NASCAR Heat 4 that puts me to sleep. I mean, no offense, but I mean, it's not like iRacing, in my opinion. So, I mean, you know. Right.
Well, it's extremely hard to broadcast NASCAR Heat. Their spectate system needed a little bit more work.
It's all about them dollar bills, y'all. He is one of the high ups. Ooh, what was that? Somebody was clicking. Oh, I had my email up. No wonder. Did y'all hear that, BB? Did you hear that?
We did not. That is
okay,
all
good.
you.
I'm glad you didn't.
I think the field might be getting ready to go green. Not this time.
No, not yet. And by the way, race event, 52 laps, 103 miles, the Wine Country 103 here at not Chicagoland. I don't know who put the error in that. Come on now, Joshua. By the way, I'm still waiting for another week for my Olive Garden gift card. And caution on lap 16 and 4 total sets of tires, 3 additional sets of tires. Fuel window 20 to 22 laps. Yes. Oh, finally. Well, that's.
I do want to note, Josh did come over the radio during the drivers' meeting before we went live, saying that he was under the weather. So Josh is doing his best running out here, but it has been a struggle in these first about 2 to 3 laps for the 94. Again, he's running a tribute car to his uncle, and this is a special scheme for Josh because this is actually kind of a similar scheme that he got to run when he was doing go-karts when he was younger. So running a get well soon on the hood for his uncle, and also just trying to get himself a top 15 here tonight.
And I hope he gets to feeling better. Poor Joshua's got a boo-boo. Yeah. Is that? I can't repeat what he said. Anyhow, you know what that car reminds me? It reminds me of Texas Pete. Remember the Texas Pete car? The
I'm trying to think, Wesley.
No, Texas Pete?
No, I'm sorry.
Texas Pete sauce, you know what I'm talking about? Texas Pete?
If I saw it, maybe, but just the title Texas Pete, no, it does not ring a bell.
Never mind. You're not helping matters, isn't he?
No.
There's, yeah,
Ooh.
something like that.
Lights are off on the pace truck. We're going this time. With it being 32 laps when we go green, a one stopper is set up for these drivers here tonight. The question is, do you want to split it in half or push it as far as you can go? If they're pushing it as far as they can go, lap 40 is their marker. If they're pushing a little bit too hard, maybe around lap 42 to 40 is their window of when we're going to be seeing these pit stops.
Pace truck is in, ready to go now for what would be the finish of this race with 32 laps to go. Remember, they do got to pit. They got to pit before this race ends, and it'll be green flag.
Oh,
Till they start, and we got trouble.
Tatum,
Ross
around by
Tatum.
Thomas.
Tatum, you're going the wrong way.
Grant also involved.
Boy, trouble there for Ross Tatum, Jacob Grant. Thomas Fisher gave him the bumper. Here's your Pulse Popper Fish and Lure instant replay of what happened on the restart here after that first competition caution here, Samuel.
Yeah, you're going to be seeing the 92. Just I'll get a little bit impatient here. Seeing that of Caleb Smith get around the 29 of that of Rob Sherwood. Sherwood on the much older tire, so allowing the 12 to go. But Thomas just ran right through that of Ross Tatum, and the boss feeling just like he did last week. Ross Tatum with that damage, most likely going to have to use fast repair. But Thomas Fisher now getting by that of Rob Sherwood and almost putting Sherwood into the grass out of turn number 10. Got to be careful for the 29. He's on the much older tire, still has not pitted here tonight, as he will most likely continue to fall back through the field. But that little bit of a scuffle has now given Caleb Smith over a 2-second gap. This is a lot bigger than what he had during our first stint. But Thomas Fisher was able to come back, but with the new damage, we'll see if the 92, that damage hurt him or helped him out.
Well, after that mishap for some people, Braxton DeWeese up 5 positions there. He has moved into 4th now.
It helps when you've got yourself about 2-3 drivers that were running up front all being taken out or falling back. Also, some of the drivers that were running in the top 8 actually topped off with fuel. Some of those drivers being that of Tom Bourne, Matt Dyer, and also that of Brockton Packard, taking themselves a little bit of a splash and go later on in this stint to make sure they've got plenty of fuel before we went green.
Jacob Grant lost 16 spots. Back to also was Ross Tatum losing 12. Oh, 13 spots is Eric Stamp, Paco Belcar. Ole, he's looking good. Jonathan Woods, by the way, off track. He's on the pit lane. That is a possibility. Yes, thank you for that assessment. Possibly might have added fuel in the car to help with the weight, the car from shifting back and forth, left and right.
Yeah, with more weight, try to make the car a little bit more stable through these corners. But also, I mean, more weight means more brake for these drivers, especially with the elevation change. It is just a handful, especially coming through, as we're going to see through turns 3 and 3A. This is a huge elevation change. Once you get to the top of this hill, it just feels like your car is as light as a feather, and any type of shifting is just going to send you off course. Hard braking into corner number 4, into that of 5, and drivers just trying to find their see Ross Tatum back in 15th position. Just not the day that he wanted to have.
Two birds of the same feather flock together. And then they fight to the, you know what. So, yeah.
Fight the scraps. Ooh, Helms into the pits, and for the 18 coming into pit road this soon. That is a little bit too early for pit road for himself. Looking back for the 96, overshot turn turn number that of 11, and after getting front end damage, hooked up into the wall and has now disconnected Christian Gardner, another driver connect, but that was before the comp. That was actually at the comp caution when he decided to come into pit road. And here comes Ross Tatum, finally having to come into pit road. Makes sense. That front
Service being done on that car. The Ross Tatum, the bad luck continues. Verbally bump and run and pushed out of the way in the All-Star race last week, Nashville. More problems on the pit lane. Let's give you your full-field rundown right now as we work lap number 25 here at Sonoma Raceway in the next round of the SNB Cup Series presented by Appalachian Hauler Hunters on LSRTV, our double coverage of Wednesday Night Thunder. Don't forget, coming up here later tonight will be the Northwest iRacing Truck Series presented by Tom Dinchell Automotive Group. From Nashville, Caleb Smith leads. Thomas Fisher, the Road America winner of the road course, is second. Braxton Luis, the all-time winner, all-star winner last week, is third. Andrew Cootie is fourth. Keenan Massey in fifth. Tyler Stooksbury sixth. Eric Stamp is seventh. Logan Brakey eighth. Rob Sherwood ninth. And Matthew Dyer, Samuel's brother from another mother. Okay, from the same mother. They're in the top 10.
And then you got that in 11th. It's going to be Kevin Martin, Joshua Alta. It's going to be in that of 12th. Then you got Brockton Packard in 13th. Jacob Grant back in 14th after his collision with that of Ross Tatum. Spencer Betts going to be in 15th. That Tom Horn in 16th. Jonathan Woods, newcomer, debut race, 17th position. Ross Tatum in 18th. Evan Coleman in 19th. And a DNF for that of Zach Peterson in 20th. 21st going to be that of Robbie Helms, back on course after a very long repairs for the 18 earlier on in this race. And Christian Gardner, another DNF, back in 22nd position.
Man, I feel bad for Christian Gardner. There was a lot of high hopes thinking he possibly could have looked really, really good. Him and Caleb Smith were some of the fast cars in practice yesterday, but now that is for naught as he is gone behind the wall and 20 laps down as it stands right now for that driver of the number, the 18, no. Robbie Helms pissed. Oh my goodness, wow.
Joshua Altis as well as Jacob Grant contact between themselves, and Grant has just been a magnet of other drivers' mistakes, and Brockton Packard actually had to go on the Indy side of the course coming down to turn number 10 and going to be losing some ground. But for Altis and for Grant, that's terrible to see for that of the 52 who has to come into pit road. Might have some required time to repair for the 52.
And no caution, by the way, now for Grant or for Altis, as now we see Altis back going again. Trying to get around Brockton Packard for that position. You still don't remember the Texas Pete car?
No, not at all. I'm trying to look it up, but it's really hard to keep searching something while looking at all this great racing action that's on screen.
Texas Pete NASCAR car, I guess is what it would be, right?
I would imagine so.
Olé.
As we're looking up schemes of old NASCAR cars, other battles are going on. Braxton Deweese, troubles for the 8, coming down the S's on turn 8 as the 8 machine goes from battling for 3rd position back to 9th. As Braxton Deweese is now going to have a complete recovery here to the end of this thing, and drivers' windows to be making it to the end of this race around lap 33 is when the window opens if you want to split this thing a little bit earlier than some of these other drivers that are going to be pitting. If you're pitting any time here or before this, you were putting yourself in a hole where you're going to have to make a second pit stop.
So here's the thing, Samuel. We know that this race will finish on lap 52 because they're not going to throw a caution. This is normally these races where you have to have a competition caution like we had on lap 16 or at the completion of lap 15, you know, to bunch everybody back up again. So hindsight 2020, smart decision would be between 32 to 35, lap 32, lap 35, to come to the pit lane, take on tires and fuel, obviously, and run to the finish. That would be the smart thing to do.
Yeah, it would be the smartest thing to do, that type of a move. But I think for everyone else in the field, they might be thinking about doing that undercut. Some other drivers might be thinking about possibly pushing it as far as you can go to around lap 40 to 42. That's a window that we're going to be seeing some of our other top competitors to make that pit stop. But looking at our up front, it's going to be a chess match between that of Caleb Smith and Thomas Fisher, because if Fisher can somehow pit sooner than that of Caleb Smith, the 92 is in a much better spot, as that 2-second gap is gone. We're right back to where we were at the end of our competition, right before our competition caution, as that of Caleb Smith. Got to be careful as the 92 hounding once again on that back bumper. But if Thomas Fisher can get up front and ahead of Caleb Smith, this is going to be Fisher's race to steal, because we have seen Caleb Smith be the fastest of the two drivers in the first 2 laps of a stint, and then we get to see Thomas Fisher after that be the faster car side by side as they're going down the S's.
Going back after it again. Here we go. Fisher right back after Caleb Smith. And we will find and see how this will develop now, because they got a race. Martin off course, 46 in trouble. Gets back going. Remember, pretty much no cautions. Here they come to the horseshoe off that final turn. Once they clear it, they will. Down below the apron on the rumble strips. Fisher losing ground now on Smith. Here they come around that sharp final corner to the straightaway. Another lap of the board. We're approaching lap 28 now of 52. And up the hill we go again, Samuel.
Yeah, up the hill, and this seems to be where Caleb Smith, if he can make sure he doesn't slide, seems to get a slight advantage. It's when they're going downhill where we see Thomas Fisher be the faster of the two cars, where you're really not worrying about heavy braking. It's a lot more of making sure you can keep your momentum strong. But Thomas Fisher, I think if he's going to win this race, we've seen that he's been able to get close side by side through turn 11 at the hairpin, but it's going to take a lot of work to make sure he's got the speed off the exit. But he's slipping and sliding, burning off tires as he came out of that corner, and it's going to take maybe a bump. I think Thomas Fisher might have to actually move the 12, kind of similar to what we saw last week, to try to get the win here tonight.
He bumped him a couple of times already. I mean, that's I don't wonder what it'd be like if DeWeese was around him right now. What do you think?
Well, DeWeese was in third. He was trying to run down these guys, but then found himself being spun. He spun himself around. He's back in 8th position for the 8. And for Braxton DeWeese, I know he wants to be battling for this win. He's another one of those, once we come to a road course, he's kind of one of the top 5 drivers to watch out for, and certainly had the pace. It's just that consistency factor that all these drivers have to have when you come to a road course. If you make a mistake, that's costing you time to those other guys that are going for each and every lap, staying as consistent as possible. Oh, Fisher spun Caleb Smith. Fisher did it.
Wow. Are you kidding me? Shades of the All-Star race last week at the Decker between Ross Tatum and the proverbial winner Braxton DeWeese, and with under 25 laps to go, look at this. Fisher, Smith, bump me once, bump me twice, shame on me. 3rd time, shame on you. And here he comes after him, Samuel, with a run up the hill. Right, well, next corner, there he goes. Whoa!
Just got on the accelerator a little bit quicker than Caleb Smith and just pushed him out of the way. We touched on it. That was the only way that we could possibly see Fisher confirm that pass, is Caleb Smith, one of the harder drivers here tonight to pass, and now Smith's just trying to hold on for 2nd place. As the longer the race was going on during that first little 16-lap stint we got to see, Caleb Smith, after about 5 to 8 laps, was no longer the fastest car. Actually, he was probably one of the top, he was in the top 5, top 10 of fastest cars, but a lot of the drivers behind him were actually faster than the 12. So now Caleb Smith is in a I hope I stay in the top 5 type of a mode to finish out this race.
Well, there is no doubt about it now. He is moved to the P1 spot.
Oh, man. Around the time that the window opens up for these drivers to make it to the end, Tom Bourne going to be one of the first drivers to hit pit road. He is for sure inside of the window to make it. It's the rest of the field that we'll keep our eye on when they'll be coming and trickling into pit road as... Oh boy, Thomas Fisher had issues for himself. He's now falling back to third for that of the 92.
Up the racetrack, and there goes Cootie trying to close in on Caleb Smith.
It looks
What might
like
have been.
I think Fisher might have just backed off, trying to give that position back, recognizing
Do you
it was...
think? Yeah. Wow.
Just the way that he slowed down at the top of the hill, coming down through the S's, it looked like he came almost to a complete stop, letting the drivers catch up to him, which has now put him back in third position.
You know,
Andrew
you gotta
Cootie
wonder.
now
You gotta
worry.
wonder. Do you think the series officials might have said, "Hey, Thomas, if you don't do this move, you're going to get penalized, or you're going to get sent to the back, or you get black flag"?
Oh, well, almost the same spot that we saw Fish. Cootie almost taking out Smith once again, and Smith, he's getting rattled and moved around three wide as they're coming down.
3 wide. Smith, the hot dog between the bun of this chaos, is Cootie, and now they're going to make it a double in the mix.
It
Will
was
we go for the
two-horse
trifecta,
race.
make it a triple with here comes... Wow. Oh, my goodness.
Hey, 5 for 5. Here comes. There's all mixed in. Thomas Fisher, though, back to the point. Cootie and Caleb Smith back to third. Smith has to be absolutely throttled at this time. He actually hopped off of Discord, didn't want to talk to anyone. He felt like this was a race that he could win. He wanted to stay completely focused. He's going to have someone down, because this has got to be frustrating, having two cars just move him out of the way. Evan Coleman now into pit road, making his what should be his final stop for the 51. But up front, Thomas Fisher, Andrew Cootie, they race on coming through turn 2.
They certainly do. We're going out. We got to go out with a bang. I don't know. Truck race at Nashville would be pretty dang good too. So Smith, well, Fisher off track again.
That turn 3, that top of the hill, it has just been the drama spot. Usually it's turn 11, and now overshooting as lap traffic soon to be out in the way of these guys.
Battle for the lead. Fisher on the outside.
Oh, contact.
And Smith is right there. He says, "Hello, friend. Hello, darkness, my old friend."
All in line. It's going to be the 5 drivers, all our top one another, our top 4 within a second, trying to fan out when they're coming to these heavy braking zones. It's pretty difficult to make any moves, but Andrew, before this race, he's outside of the top 20 in points, where you need to be. If you get a win, you got to be in the top 20 of points to move into the playoffs. And for this 48 team, the goal was, hey, if the leaders start to make some mistakes and give me an opportunity to win this thing, get the points. So I'm in the top 20 to make sure this win counts for myself to move on into the playoffs.
Playoffs onto the post. And there's still races that remain before that is all decided, by the way.
So I forgot to put his scheme on, which is hilarious, because before he joined the lobby, he actually talked to me saying, "Oh yeah, I need to put my scheme in." Obviously, he forgot to do it, as the what should be the 88's a complete white card. He needs sponsors. He needs a number. Help this man out. He lost Mr. Clean. Mr. Clean cleaned off this
It's
white.
the ultimate clean car right there. I mean, you're not clean unless you're zestfully clean or you're bald like, Mr. Clean. Prototype called during winter heat. It was excuse Sir Hims.
We get joyed with the unwanted, pleasant of disgustness. Alta's into pit road. More drivers
I'm happy to be
filing
here.
in. Pit stop, and Robbie Helms is Stooksbury goes off course. Going to be giving up 2 positions to that of Caleb Smith and Eric Stamp.
Altus came through the pits but did not stop.
Likely because he might have cut a corner and got teamed with a black flag, so he had to do a drive-through penalty for that of the 29. Penalty is costly for these drivers. Packard in, also following behind him is going to be that of Spencer Best, and Best didn't get any practice time for this 20 machine. He just barely came into this race 30 seconds before qualifying came to a close. So Spencer Best trying to get his best here of possibly a top 15 finish, and that of Brockton Packard. Packard, he's outside of the top 12 in points. But his goal, just get as many points and stay consistent here throughout the rest of the regular season, and maybe steal away himself a way into the playoffs. Thomas Fisher, he was running in second.
Hey, by the way, as here comes the leaders into the pits, Fisher is in. Looks like Smith is in behind him. Coming in, well, to take it to the finish. And
yeah.
this back to Altus and the car 94. The Texas Pete car. Back in the day, Morgan Shepherd drove the car. Joe Nemechek drove the car. And Pete. Texas Pete did. Yes. Joe Nemechek had the most success, though, in the Texas Pete car. And if your social media for our LSRTV media people, Samuel Dyer, I will show you the car.
Do want to give a note that the car that is actually a callback to his goat kart that he was running Texas Pete. Just a reference scheme that Wesley was seeing, and giving us some good callbacks for that. Other drivers that came in with Fisher, Caleb Smith, Stamp. Also, that of Massey came in, and Logan Brakey, as here comes Stooksbury into pit road.
What have all said about him?
Oh, I wasn't paying attention at all to what he was saying. It's still waiting on that of Cootie to come in. Also, I think Ross Tatum as well. So still waiting on 3 drivers to make their final pit stop here tonight.
What was you saying him about Joe Nemechek? Is that but they called him Front Row Joe. Braxton and we saw in pit lane, by the way. They called him Front Row Joe Nemechek, man. Come on. Joe Nemechek was good at NASCAR.
I mean, he was
forgetting the ball a lot. Front Row Joe.
Evan Coleman actually now coming into pit road. It looks like he got himself stuck in the out here. Actually came into pit road. I think he might have. This is an unscheduled stop for himself. Very odd to see the 51 into pit lane, but I think he got caught speeding possibly into pit road, as he is still trying to get repairs done and himself getting some issues fixed up. The 48 of Andrew Cootie, our leader, into pit road.
By the way, at one time, Charles, a.k.a. Hims, Joe Nemechek was sponsored by Dentine Gum, if you remember that car, Dentine, and Bell South Mobile. One of the first telephone cars that were ever in racing, Bell South, on Joe Nemechek's. Bell South, I don't know. Dentine is a gum company. I would think Dentine Gum would be around. You've never heard of Dentine? Samuel, tell me you've heard of Dentine. Come on, dude.
Never heard of it at all. Do want to give a note, though, as you're talking about different schemes and sponsors. Tyler Stooksbury.
You've never heard of Dentine Ice?
No. I might have. I'm not paying attention. Tyler Stooksbury got himself contact with Eric Stamp as they were battling for 4th place, and now has dropped back out of the top 5 into 6th position for the 19 that is needing to get top 5 points if he wants to find himself in the playoffs.
You have never heard of Dentine Gum, Dentine Ice, Orbit, Trident, Extra? They're all part of Dentine.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know about dentists. Jacob Grant making his final pit stop. Also, Brockton Packard coming in.
Dentist.
Yeah, them dentines. those dentist things. As we see that Thomas Fisher leading the way, almost 3.5 seconds over that of Caleb Smith. And unless we see a lap car take out Thomas Fisher, this race looks to be Fisher's, as we're expecting him to pull away from Caleb Smith. Smith has not had the long run speed unless he has learned something here, but both drivers came in at the same time 2 laps ago. And I think for a lot of these drivers in the back half of the field, over 52 laps, it is a marathon here at Sonoma.
Samuel, check your broadcaster chat there, and there you see the car, and now you will see the reason why I have it say that it looks like Joshua Altus' car. Do you see what I mean? I rest my case.
In ways, yes.
But bite me! I spent all that time working while calling the race, and you tell me no in some cases? Wow, it's the Dentine car. No, it's Tyler Stooksbury. Tied in loose off definitely for that car. Plus, that's the name of his YouTube podcast.
You know.
And there's the Texas Pete car. There he is, Martin, trying to get passed now by Altus. You see it? Look at the car.
I don't see no white. The white's on the hood, I guess.
It's not 100% identical. It just reminds me of the damn Texas Pete car.
I'm just messing. It does actually look like it.
Thank you. Because nobody's listening to hymns. And here comes car. Who is this again, by the way?
That's my brother. That's Matt.
Why is he in a primer car? I don't understand that.
I think trading paints on getting his scheme set up as Thomas Fisher issues for the 92.
Whoa! Did he run out of fuel? Did he not pit?
Fisher and Tom Bourne have it. Tom Bourne might have absolutely dumped Thomas Fisher and gave Caleb Smith the lead.
What in the world happened with under 15 to go here at Sonoma?
Tom Bourne, Thomas Fisher, both of them have had issues at the start of the season. Tom has been waiting for a moment, and Tom's the leader. And what was...
Did he just wreck him?
Yeah, what was a lead for Thomas Fisher swapped. Caleb Smith has a lead of 3.5 seconds over Thomas Fisher. Fisher now even more damage than he had before.
Oh my goodness, wow.
This is still a replay of right before that contact, showing a little bit further. This was some pent-up aggression from Tom Bourne.
You don't forget Tom Bourne. Whoa!
I believe Tom was thinking about doing this opportunity. And here at Sonoma, no caution's going to be waived. And Thomas Fisher has got a rebound. 3.5 seconds between himself and Caleb Smith.
So Fisher, not friends?
Oh, no. They have been enemies since the start of the season at Daytona. They have not been friendly.
I know. I was trying to be sarcastic.
Absolutely not. This is one of those things where this has been pent up since Bristol. Tom Bourne was leading, took out Tom from winning that race.
Yes.
Tom now getting some retaliation on Fisher of, hey, you took me out of a chance to win. Hey, you already won at Road America. I'm not letting you win here at Sonoma.
So do you think that there should be a penalty here, or do you think
there's going to be a penalty? The admins for sure are going to probably park Tom Bourne. Maybe not. It's like Fisher hasn't been coming over the radio, but
what if you go back to what Fisher did to him at Daytona? I mean, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, that was back at Bristol, and Thomas Fisher really wasn't penalized for that. He actually went from wrecking Tom Bourne to winning the next week at Road America. So Fisher really wasn't deemed with any incident, and that's why Tom was kind of building up this pent-up aggression, was because he felt like there was not enough retaliation to the 92 after Tom losing at Bristol to now Tom doing this. And we're expecting Tom Bourne to be penalized for sure, because Bristol, not close racing, a simple mistake could cost someone. But here at here at Sonoma, completely different. We saw that 54 just take out our leader, and it's now dropped him back. He's even 4 seconds back. Thomas Fisher is just losing ground to the 12. Caleb Smith, he just needs to run consistent, make no mistakes, and this race is looking good for that 12.
We are going to go side by side so you don't miss a thing. We will take you to the finish, the checkered flag from Sonoma. But it's been a wild firecracker event on the road course for the SNB Cup Series. Sawblade.com, top 5, bottom left. Top left, I meant. There they are. Oh, we need to see their pretty faces. There they are, helmets and all. Back with more coverage and the finish. We return. LSRTV.
Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, right? Our Ram trucks, truck of the year, amazing trucks. We have fun Jeeps, and then the exciting Dodge and Chrysler products. Lots of performance there, lots of excitement there. They've done a great job in really creating a full scope product line that could suit everybody's needs. Whether it's a family vehicle or a fun vehicle or a utility type vehicle or a big truck, we've got it all for our customers.
Wheel to wheel, battle for the race lead. New race lead down the backstretch. Here comes Jamie Frederick.
Boy, oh boy, we are ready for the final 10 laps here. And what a crazy turn of events as Cootie and Martin almost go high up the racetrack again on one another. Welcome back to coverage of the SNB Cup Series, presented by Appalachian Hauler Hunters. Samuel Dyer, Wesley Outland, Charles Wooten, a.k.a. Hims, on the production for LSRTV. And it has got pretty wild down the stretch. And there's Fisher. Payback from Tom Bourne. Fisher spun. Now can he run back down Caleb Smith? Does he got enough time to do it, Samuel? He's in second.
Yeah, in the past lap, Thomas Fisher has gained about half a second on the 12. This is the pace that you want to see from Thomas Fisher if he wants to rebound and come back into this race. Tom Bourne, who took out the leader, we can't even say that it was a mistake. It was a full-blown takeout attack. Tom Bourne on Thomas Fisher. Bourne is in pit road getting repairs done. Other drivers that have actually parked it, Robbie Helms in 20th, also in 19th, Evan Coleman DNFing for the day. The rest of the field is pitted in there, good to make it to the end, but Wesley, I mean, we saw it last week, but that was for an all-star race. This is a points race where it matters for Thomas Fisher, Caleb Smith. Caleb Smith could lock himself into the playoffs because of that hit that Tom Bourne just made.
Yeah. And, yeah, by the way, Panda Express for Charles, McDonald's for me, and this takeout was brought to you by DoorDash. So, for sure, definitely. Wow. The DoorDash takeout of the night, if you want to call it that. And you want to
we need to
talk about hitting them where it hurts. But here's the thing, though, Samuel. Here's the thing, though. Does it really hurt him, though? I mean, I know it takes away the second win of the season for Thomas Fisher, but he's already in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really help. It doesn't hurt Thomas Fisher. I mean, no, it's going to hurt knowing that one of these wins could have been on his notch and could have said, hey, I swept the road courses during the regular season. But that's the only prize that was really taken away from that of Fisher. And for Caleb Smith, though, that's where things get complicated because, yes, Smith was inside of the top 12 already, but he was coming in 10th in points, which means he was in that position. If he had an off week for these last couple of races, he could be forcing himself outside of the playoff window, but with a win, he's automatically locked in, and that makes it to the drivers that were hoping to see Caleb Smith struggle for the rest of the season. It's going to make it a lot harder for them to be finding themselves in the playoffs.
And Caleb Smith looking to be now the Cinco driver to win in the SNB Cup Series this year, season 3. I'm strangle him. Caleb Smith.
Him is he's having a fun time eating his Panda Express in our ear while you cannot hear him. We can, and it gets distracting at times. As
I'm having the courtesy of not eating my McDonald's while I'm on the air right now. Jacob Grant off course.
That is right in front of our leader. Jacob Grant going to be falling back to 14th, letting that of Brockton Packard up to 13th. And Packard trying to make a rebound for this 24 team. He was running up around 8th place earlier on in this race. Another driver that's been doing a great job rebounding, Braxton DeWeese. He was 3rd at one moment, and he's made his way back up to 7th. And now on the back bumper of Keenan Massey, that could be another position to be grabbed when he fell back to 9th place earlier in round, I believe, lap 30, he did that. So a great rebound for the 8th. That is right on the back bumper of the 4.
So a solid day for Braxton DeWeese, of course, after winning the All-Star race last week. He sits currently in 7th position. Caleb Smith leading the way. Thomas Fisher in 2nd. Andrew Cootie in 3rd. What a run for him. Eric Stampus 4th. Tyler Stooksbury in the top 5 as these laps are ticking away here. By the way, just 3 races remain until the playoffs. Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. But they are looming here. 3 weeks after tonight.
Those 3 races going to be Charlotte next week, then Texas, and the Daytona. We're going back to we started this regular season with Daytona. We're finishing it off with Daytona. So more super speedway racing action for these guys, and I'm excited to see how they're going to be working this thing. Teamwork has been the new face of super speedway racing with the Cup cars. If you can find your teammates, work your way through the field. End of the regular season, if you've got a driver on your team that is not won and is outside of the top 12, this is a way to make sure they can move on. That's the last race of the regular season, and that's wins certainly can be seen. I mean, Charlotte, we got here tonight, finishing up here at Sonoma, looking good for that of Caleb Smith. We're keeping our eye out as Thomas Fisher has now gained over a second over Caleb Smith in this past lap. But Charlotte, Texas, Daytona, those are some good-looking tracks for drivers to possibly gain and maybe get a win for themselves.
Yeah, they certainly are. Massey and DeWeese battle, the 4 and the 8. Pretty solid day for Keenan Massey. Normally a driver that struggles. 5 to go here at Sonoma. He's got a good run going for him. A solid time. Samuel.
Yeah, Keenan Massey giving up that position really easily. Teammates, that of Braxton DeWeese and Massey of High Five Racing. So making sure they're not ruining each other's days like we've tonight. But that's a great smooth pass for both of these guys, and keep it up, making sure that they don't have to make any mistakes. And now the next driver that's on DeWeese's mind, Arian Dukes. Luckily for him, he's got an 8-second gap between himself and the 8. But the issue for that of Tyler Stooksbury is he has been kind of in a worse and worse for himself, but luckily has rebounded. As you're seeing here, that of Thomas Fisher trying to cut his way by drivers that are battling for position. Cootie, battle for 2nd, and also the battle for 13th underway, both right here.
Closing laps here at the Eastway. Fisher, Cootie battling now. This is for 2nd and 3rd. Andrew Cootie trying to move up and get around Fisher. And they don't have to worry, at least the leader, Caleb Smith, does not have to worry any about those two because they still got a long way to go to catch him in the 12th. Interval now almost, believe it or not, is close to 5 seconds. Yeah, 5.98 seconds, 6 seconds. There's the gap. Yeah,
and Andrew Cootie and also Fisher have already shown they're willing to use the bumper to get cars out of the way. And we might see it there. Fisher into Packard in.
Wow.
Here comes Cootie. Now 2 is outside as they go down the hill.
Would you think, though, maybe Thomas Fisher's frustrated?
I mean, we've already seen him.
Think of what happened with him. I mean, with Bourne and whatnot. I mean, literally Thomas Fisher just pretty much got screwed out of a 2nd win on the season. He's won Road America. Call him Mr. Road Course Ringer. It looked like he was going to do it again.
I mean, here's the thing, though. Thomas Fisher flying into pit road, and I think he's done. Thomas Fisher, that exact moment that we just saw of lap cars getting in the way of lead lap cars that are battling for position, that's exactly what happened at Bristol, but it was kind of where Tom Bourne didn't win. So a little bit of deja vu or karma to be seen. I don't know for the 92, but This is it is a frustrating night for a driver that we've times and now in pit road, going to get some service done for himself. And
he's changing tires. He's changing tires. What is he going to do?
He came flying in. He might even be caught speeding, so he could be lingering here for another 40 seconds or so. Yeah, he got caught speeding. He's not going to be taking off for another 30 seconds. So looking for a top 10 finish.
Do you think he might be waiting for the 54?
Well, Tom Bourne's back in pit road, so both drivers are going
on the 12. Do you think?
No, he's not going to take out the 12. If he takes out the 12, then I would say Thomas Fisher for a lot of issues, because we've already seen Fisher take out Caleb Smith, but I would highly doubt that is what Fisher's thinking.
I hope not. He's still sitting on pit road, though. I mean,
Caleb Smith's coming out, and like I said, Tom Bourne's still in pit road. Both drivers are eyeing one another. Whoever moves, they might try to just take each other out as we are coming closer and closer to the end of this thing.
Yeah, Tom Bourne and Thomas Fisher are in the pits together. They were in the pits together. Now they're exiting the pits. They virtual stare down stalemate with each other. Finally, Fisher comes out of the lane. Tom Bourne stays in the pits. And I'm just wondering, man, but Fisher is driving like a pissed off teenager right now.
I wouldn't tires. He might take someone else out. Who knows? I mean, at this point,
I'm serious.
It's so frustrating out there when you know you had one of the fastest cars on the long run to be taken out the way that he was. It's so frustrating, but I know for Tom, he just messaged me, and he was setting this up. Tom wanted to get this aggression out last week in an on-points race, but that attempt never came. And now coming out of turn number 11, soon into 12, Wesley, we're coming to the one.
Go. Final time around, this time by for the number 12. And CEM Motorsports looking to be the 5th different winner here. What a crazy story of events this turned out to be from Smith and Fisher, Smith and Bourne, or Fisher and Bourne. And now, Caleb Smith up the hill in wine country virtually for the final time. Samuel Dyer looking for the checkered flag.
Maybe go sit, get some crackers, get some cheese, maybe some wine, talk this thing out. Thomas Fisher, Tom Bourne, they are going to be talked to by the admins. After this race, someone's going to get a suspension. Someone might be losing some points. For Caleb Smith, the focus was there. He was bumped, moved, shoved everywhere, taken out of this race. You thought maybe he didn't have a shot. But after some luck of a lap car taking out our leader, Caleb Smith, coming down the hill, soon to the hairpin. The 12 just needs to make a couple of more corners.
Couple of more corners for that driver for CEM Motorsports, now ready to be the 5th different winner to do just that. He works his way around that horseshoe here around for the final time. Caleb Smith working through the corner to the line. Checkered flag. Caleb Smith, the underdog in practice, quickest in the mock run, wins here after a crazy turn of events for Thomas Fisher, Tom Bourne and company. And when it's said and done, Caleb Smith, EM Motorsports Ford Samuel Dyer to the playoffs in 2021.
Yeah, I mean, Caleb Smith, this is massive for himself. He built up. He was focused all week long. Like you said, he was the fastest during the practice yesterday. He was the fastest during the mock race. He won that mock race. He was the qualified and showed that he had the speed. I'm not surprised that we saw Caleb Smith won here tonight, but you knew that for that of Thomas Fisher, hey, it's got to be feeling good for that 12 to get this win for himself.
The celebration, driver of Caleb Smith, and the agony defeat for others like Thomas Fisher and Tom Bourne. We are hearing has been summoned to the SNB Cup Series hauler. I'm sure that, like you said, Samuel, there will be some type of reprimand, a penalty, DQ, suspension maybe, for what happened. And you got to think too, Samuel, this took an awesome opportunity of a race between Fisher and Smith away too, what Tom Bourne did.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it was an awesome opportunity to see them battle because Thomas Fisher was running away. I mean, he had over a 3.5, almost 4-second gap lead by the time that contact was made, and he was pulling away from Caleb Smith. A lot of guys are going to be upset about this.
Do you think Caleb Smith should say, or Tom Bourne is saying to Caleb Smith, "Hey, buddy, go at me"?
I don't think it's an IOU, but I think that that's just a Tom getting some sweet revenge for himself after what happened earlier in the season. But Tom does get suspended. His chances of making the playoffs are almost gone to a slim points to get in to almost a must.
As we move down the stretch to the playoffs and to the championship to be decided, you got to remember, years past, you got to keep it together. You can't lose that focus unless you just want to go out there and be like a demolition derby. Caleb Smith lighting them up, burning it down on the NASCAR Cup Series and the Toyota logo just outside the horseshoe. We're going to talk to him in Victory Lane in a moment. But first, here is your sawblade.com standings. And these are unofficial. For the first time ever, I can actually say that these are unofficial because there possibly might be some changes on the leaderboard. Caleb Smith. Do what, Samuel?
Who knows? It's going to be an interesting one. For sure.
Who knows Uno? Caleb Smith is Uno. He is the winner. Andrew Cootie is second spot. Tyler Stooksbury third. Braxton Deweese redeeming himself from some bad luck. He'll finish 21 seconds back to the leader, but he'll finish fourth. Eric Stamp in the top 5. Keenan Massey, solid run for him in the top 10 day. Logan Brakey as well. Rob Sherwood, Matt Dyer, your brother in the primer car, and Ross Tatum having problems on that restart after the caution, comes back, Samuel, and he finishes 10th.
Yeah, that issue on that restart was him being turned by this of Thomas Fisher in 11th. And Fisher, a driver that we thought was going to win this race, taken out by Tom Bourne. First car, 1 lap down for the 92. Jacob Grant, who actually was involved with that Ross Tatum incident, able to recover for a 12th place finish with Spencer Best, the 13th, Brocken Packard 14th. Josh Altus going to be getting himself 15th finish. Kevin Martin in 16th. And then our newcomer, debut race for the 10 of Jonathan Woods, 17th. And then the drivers that did not finish this race. Driver that's going to be on the radar of if he's going to get suspended or a penalty to the 54, Tom Bourne finishing out with 18th place. Evan Coleman in 19th. Robbie Helms in 20th with Zach Peterson and Christian Gardner coming out and not finishing for both of those drivers in 21st and 22nd position.
So that's the way it stands. And again, as I said, probably for the first time in all seriousness, unofficial could be the way this is right now, because I'm sure that the leaderboards will change possibly when this is done. Maybe some DQ suspensions. Follow SNB Cup Series for social media on Facebook for, of course, more information. And we might hear some stuff here tonight. Not sure. Quick break. When we return, we will talk to the top 3. Caleb Smith punches his ticket in the playoffs with the assist by Tom Bourne to win at Sonoma. We'll talk to him in a moment. Welcome back to coverage of the SNB Cup Series. It's presented by Appalachian Holler Hunters on LSRTV. Samuel Dyer, Wesley Outland on the production side of things is Charles Wooten. We're going to wrap up and talk to our top three voices of iRacing here tonight at Sonoma, and what a wild one it was. Caleb Smith, CEM Motorsports, and he's already adamantly said in the background, guys, it's not the way I wanted to win it, but hey, a win is a win, is a win, is a win. And we'll talk to him on his win in just a couple of moments. Third place, man, oh man, what a run for you, Tyler Stooksbury. Welcome back to the club, Tied In Loose Off YouTube podcast, and you get a podium, man. You don't get to run that much, but tonight was a good run, solid third on the road course.
Hey, yeah, Sonoma is a fun racetrack, and we had adversity before the green flag even dropped. You know, I thought I had a little bit more time, and I went in to change a brake bias setting, and I realized to start in the back and to get all the way back up to third on our road course after that happening was pretty kind of proud of that run for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler, it started off with that, but then after the comp caution, things just continued to spiral around. It seemed like, how was it trying to come back for these final 20 laps after spinning out, after trying to make the pass on Stamp around lap 32 to coming out here with third place finish?
Yeah, well, we came out. I think he just kind of messed up the corner a little bit and had to check up, and then I just couldn't get it gathered back up. And I wish I could have, had I pitted maybe a lap earlier, and then, maybe that had not happened, I would have loved to see what I could have done, because I think I could have been in contention there. The pace was there. The pace is there. Just 2 or 3 small mistakes, not even big mistakes, I think put me back, the 9 seconds I think I was behind second place. So we'll see what happens next time, but it was close. Small mistakes, so you can't make them.
Tyler Stooksbury, what do you got to say about the chaos that went down on the racetrack on the road course, and you basically benevolently moving out of the way to not get caught up in any of those things and getting a solid top 3 podium from the deal?
Yeah, that restart after the comp caution, man, it just like people were all over the place, and especially I didn't get to run any of the NIS races a few weeks ago, so I had no really experience doing restarts at this track since like last year. So it was just, I was super nervous, but that wreck on that restart, just avoiding that was something. So we made it through it. Just that helped. That gave me a few spots, I'm not gonna lie, so that helped me out a little bit, honestly.
Sponsors, third place, Tyler Stooksbury.
Tied In Loose Off, go check it out on YouTube. Just get a little search. About to do have 2 or 3 larger videos I've been writing scripts for, so it's coming up soon. Go check it out.
There you go. There's the thoughts of Tyler Stooksbury. He will finish third here tonight at Sonoma. Runner-up of the race, man. Another good, this has got to be the best finish of the season, actually, for this driver, Andrew Cooney in the number 48 Ally Chevrolet. Andrew, this is your best finish of the season right here tonight. Second place. Wow.
Yeah, I did not expect to be in any contention to be in the top 3, let alone a win. I was getting close towards the end, Caleb. I thought I would have a shot at him. I got to within 3 seconds, but the lap cars, I'm trying to get by the lap cars. It was kind of a cluster. But it's funny because the last 5 races, Atlanta, and from now, every other race, my power has gone out and I've lost it mid-race. Atlanta, I was leading, and then Indianapolis, I was like 10th and I lost power. This afternoon when I went to register for the session, 10 seconds after I registered, there was a big thing of thunder, and I was like, uh-oh. So I'm just glad I was able to get into the race and run the entire thing without any issues, because I have not been happy the last couple weeks. So, thankfully, I wanted the win because I need the win to get into the playoffs. But I will take a second and go on to Charlotte. Hopefully, I can get a win within the next couple weeks and then make the playoffs. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew, we kind of you touched on it before this race even started. Talking with you, you said that you need to get a win and also just a solid, good finishes. I mean, this is kind of hits one of those notches of a great finish for yourself. Are you still aiming towards possibly one of these next 3 tracks as a contention for you to get a win?
Yeah, Charlotte, I'm not as good at. Texas, I can do Texas, not as bad, but my main look is Daytona because I'm a very good, in my opinion, I'm a very good super speedway racer, and I think I can get a win there. I'm just hoping I can, be in the right places at the right times, get some good finishes this season, and hopefully make the playoffs. I'm glad I was able to get a good finish after the last couple weeks of not doing anything good in this series.
Well, it's on to Charlotte, and the car looked really, really good today. Up 4 spots in that last stint to get yourself a good run. Qualified decent and kind of stayed out of trouble amongst all the crazy shenanigans that went on for sure. Andrew Cootie, before we let you go, man, thank your sponsors on that Ally number 48 machine.
The only ones I want to thank are King Dental, my job. They allow me to put their logo on the car, and I thought it was great of him to let me do that. And Santa Fe Skateboarding, that is another sponsor through my job. But yeah, that's the only ones I have. So,
all right, brother. Yeah, man. Andrew Cootie, again, best finish of his career so far and of the season tonight, for sure. Bump him up into the point standings, and everybody's thinking playoffs. 3 weeks left to go. Charlotte coming up. Texas and Daytona to decide it. But again, Andrew Cootie will finish in that number 2 position. Victory Lane, CEM Motorsports, 5th different winner of the year. Caleb Smith, it wasn't pretty, but a win is a win. Congratulations to you, getting it done to the number 12, and honestly, having to redeem yourself after some contact from Thomas Fisher getting into you. Tom Bourne said, hey, buddy, I haven't forgot about what you did to me at Daytona, Thomas Fisher, and then he kind of had what goes around comes around, if you will. And the old cliche, the drivers never forget. Virtual or reality, I think that proved that tonight. You were in the right place at the right time, redeemed yourself, and you got to victory lane. Congratulations.
Thank you. You talked about it before the interviews, but this is definitely not the way I wanted to win. I knew we had a fast car. I had been practicing all week for it. I barely do practice. I kind of just show up and, race. Probably not the right thing to do. But I practiced a lot this week. Hot conditions, overcast, 2 different setups because I didn't know until yesterday that we were running the open set. So it kind of threw me off a little bit. But yeah, first 15, 16 laps, it's a good battle with Fisher. And, comp caution comes out. We'd had some contact prior. You guys have seen a lot of it probably. But, we go to take the green flag for the restart. And a few laps later, he just hooks me. I'm not sure if it was net code or he just turned into me. But, yeah, I appreciate him slowing down to let me go. But at that point, it wasn't it wasn't going to do anything. My tires were shot. I had spun, hit the wall. Car was gone, pretty much. So I had to pit, take the fast repair, and the undercut worked on Cootie. But after that, we all know what happened.
Yeah, it certainly drama-filled night that was. Caleb, you had multiple drivers knocking on your back bumper a lot once you had the lead. How was it trying to hold on when you had so many drivers down your throat trying to get the lead position from you?
It was a struggle. I would say road course racing is probably one of my better forms of racing. I'm not very good at ovals. I said that when I went at Dover last season. I said I'm more of a road course racer. I think I kind of proved it today. So I couldn't let Fisher get by me because I knew once he got by me, he was going to pull away. So I was driving defensive. I knew he was going to overdrive corners, and then I would just do a cutback in the hairpin or wherever. I just had to keep the inside line going into the corner, and it generally worked until the incident. But I won't go any further into that.
Well, would you say? Well, okay. Where do you draw the line as per se this was racing and then this was not? This was uncalled for. Where I mean, I know you said you don't want to go any further, but where would you? Can you at least give us that much of where it was racing competitively, racing hard, if you will, but then it became a point where this is when is enough enough?
Yeah, I'm not going to comment on that. I'll probably say something that would get me in trouble, so I'm not going to go into that.
Okay, let me rephrase that. When you got a guy like Fisher and Bourne having their battle amongst each other, was there a kind of a psyche of, okay, if I can just kind of stay out of this guy's way, out of their path, I can do what I need to do to get this race win, and that's pretty much what you did. Did the mindset change, especially after you being at the top of the board yesterday, quickest in practice, quickest in the mock race last night? Things, I mean, you're saying I don't think I deserve this win, but don't knock yourself, Caleb. You were pretty damn good in the preliminaries yesterday.
I appreciate that, but the whole intent or whatever it was wreck with Tom, like this was the one race where I wasn't even in the chat. So if it was, or whatever it was, that's between them. No,
all right. Go ahead and finish. Go ahead.
That's all.
I feel like I cut you off. You can finish your last sentence if you want to.
Oh no, that was all for that. I can't. I'm not going to say anymore.
All right. Well, listen, it's a win. You're in the playoffs, so there is some light at the end of the tunnel of all this craziness that happened tonight. And while you're doing that, thank your sponsors.
Oh yeah. I gotta thank CEM Motorsports. Matt Dyer, Evan Coleman. This one's gonna be sketchy. Tom Bourne. I gotta thank all of them. Logan Brakey, Eric Stamp, all those guys over there. They make it fun to race on Wednesday nights. I wasn't in there tonight, like I said, because I had to focus because I felt like I had a good shot of winning. But all those guys make it fun to race, and I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else. And then I gotta thank Raise Energy. If you use code Smitty15 at checkout, you can get 15% off your order. So if you just go to rutsports.com and then get some Raise Energy, code Smitty15.
All right, man. Well, congratulations, Caleb Smith. He is in the playoffs. And, of course, after a wild one here tonight at Sonoma, he wins here in the wine country 103. Samuel, your take, your final thoughts. Man, this is one... we thought the All-Star race was crazy at Nashville. This is definitely one that we weren't expecting, but I guess the old final thought is from me, and you can give your thoughts as well. A driver never forgets, virtual or reality.
No, absolutely not. Drivers do not forget. And, throughout this season, a lot of drama has been building up to this moment. But obviously, you heard it from Caleb. He didn't want to win this way, but credit to Caleb Smith. He had such a fast car here tonight. Got to think, if that car was not damaged, how equal footing would it have been to see both those drivers continue to fight as hard as they did in that first 16 laps of this race? It was amazing to watch. A lot of drama. A lot of drivers are going to be upset about this one, but that's what kind of short track racing builds up tension. So does road course racing. Those braking zones just build up a lot of tension and heat, and the brakes as well to the head of these drivers.
Fun time as always working with you, Samuel Dyer. We'll get ready for Charlotte Motor Speedway next week, and then there were only 3 races left to go in season 3 for the SNB Cup Series, presented by Appalachian Hauler Hunters. Playoffs to decide the championship, and now Caleb Smith, winning here tonight, becomes driver number 5, punching his ticket into the postseason. For Jeff Stabnow, Charles Wooten, everybody at Rocket Media, and also Charles in the production chair for LSRTV. More information at livesimracing.com. SNB Cup Series on Facebook for more details as well. Stick around. Next week, Charlotte. It should be wild. For Samuel Dyer, I'm Wesley Outland. Y'all be good to one another. Virtual or reality, keep those tempers in check, and we thank you for checking us out tonight on LSR TV.